Thanks. The following is a sponsored program paid for by Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group, RE/MAX Results. Welcome to Rochester Real Estate, featuring Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell. Here's Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk, 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Good morning. It's Andy Brownell on News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM, along with Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results. Good morning, Robin.
Good morning.
How are you doing this week?
It was kind of a tough week, and I have to tell you, it gave me a lot of good content for today's show. Unfortunately, it definitely isn't all positive in the real estate market, and some days are tougher than others, and it's kind of a little interesting thing I want to talk about. But before I start about all the bad stuff, I just want to ask you, I'm sure you know everything, but you did see that Mayor Norton proclaimed, Mayo Clinic Day.
Yes.
Was it yesterday? Yesterday.
Yep, it was Friday morning. She issued the proclamation. She was competing with the governor, who also issued Suni Lee Day in Minnesota for the Olympic victory.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it was in recognition of, once again, and it's so strange that we could actually take this for granted, that the Mayo Clinic is rated as the #1 hospital in the entire United States.
In the whole nation.
It's
Best hospital in the nation. But you know what? How many times throughout this COVID time that we talked on this radio show and talked about COVID and talked about how lucky we are to live here.
Oh, yeah.
In the home of the Mayo Clinic. So if we were the ones that got COVID, we'd have excellent care. And, like even now our vaccination numbers, our vaccination numbers for Olmsted County are so high and so impressive compared to so many places throughout the country. And it just makes us all safer. So it's just awesome.
I had a conversation with somebody yesterday about the Mayo Clinic, and oftentimes for those of us who live here, again, we take it for granted.
Yeah.
And you get into the little minutia complaints about some situation. and at the end of the conversation, I basically said, and all that being said, you go anywhere else in the entire country and you're not going to get the care you're going to receive here.
Not even close.
No.
Not even close. And that's it. I just want to give a shout out to every single person who works at Mayo Clinic, from the person who greets you at the front door to the top surgeons to the CEO, all of them. I mean, bottom line is they're all doing such a great job, and it makes our community what it is. So way to go, everybody.
Way to go. And you mentioned the COVID care. When it was at its worst and the ICUs were full and the people who were being treated here were receiving, cutting-edge therapies.
Right.
That gave them a better chance of getting out of there. So,
Exactly. Oh, boy.
Well, the rest of the week, you're not the only one I've talked to who kind of said this past week has been a difficult one. I don't know what it was, something in the air. The smoke,
I want to maybe the smoke was a sign of the gloom and the doom of the week. I don't know, but I tell you, I have now been a licensed real estate agent for 21 years. Okay. And in 21 years, I have never had a client decide not to close on a contract because they had a change of heart. They just changed their mind. They're not doing it. Oh my gosh.
You get that far into it?
Listen, yesterday on Friday, I'm going to focus on Friday as being Mayo Clinic Day, not as being the worst day in my real estate career. But anyway,
now I gotta hear this story.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we had not one, but 2 transactions not close because of difficult consumers.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
The closing date was yesterday.
Great. That's exactly right.
And that's the day they changed their mind.
And they changed their mind a few days prior, but then, of course, we spent 48 hours trying to tell them it doesn't really work like this.
No.
But unfortunately, neither one of those people showed up at the closing table.
Oh, my gosh.
Two two different transactions, of course. Now, had they been the same transaction, because one was a seller and one was a buyer.
Okay.
So if they had been the same transaction, well, that would have been a piece of cake.
No
oh,
harm,
great.
no foul,
Everybody's changed their mind. Awesome. That would have been fine. But no. I wish, at this point, I'm so upset. I wish I could say the name of the people, but of course I will not do that. But I will tell you that one particular case was a seller, and this seller had a beautiful home to sell, and one of our agents had the buyer, and several months back entered into a contract. Now, they did sell their house contingent upon them entering into a successful purchase agreement by a certain date, which happened. Okay? They did. They entered into that contract, and everything was moving right along, and they had purchased they didn't find anything they wanted to purchase, so they had a new home built. Okay? So the new home is completely done. And when they went over to do their walkthrough with the builder, they were dissatisfied. Well, so they say they were dissatisfied with the quality of the construction, which I call BS, okay? I think what happened in real world is I think they think, okay, this all happened in the height of the real estate market. Maybe we paid too much for the house. Maybe things are going to start to calm down now. Maybe we could get something for less.
They haven't been listening, have they?
Oh, right. They haven't been listening. I hope they're listening today, honestly, because I hope they feel really bad about how this affects the families down the line. I just don't know how people could do this and live with themselves. I mean, can I just say this and say it really loudly and clearly? A real estate contract is a legal binding contract. It's not a joke. It's not like I'm at TJ Maxx, I pick up a pair of sandals, I throw them in my cart, I walk around the store for a while and say, I don't really need these. I walk back over to the shoe shelf, I put them back. That's different. This is you don't change your mind after you've made this commitment. So now what happens is, I'll name everybody with some really generic names, okay? So we're going to start with the people who decided not to sell. So the Adams decide not to sell. That is not even close to their name, okay? So they decide not to sell. So now the Joneses don't have a house to buy, and they're super sad because they really, really, really love the Adams house, and they were really excited to move in there, okay? Not to mention their house is all packed up and their stuff is on a moving truck.
Oh my God.
Now, so now the Joneses are like, oh, great. Now what do we do? And then now let's say Millers are buying the Joneses house, and the Millers are like, does this mean the Joneses aren't going to sell their house to us? Because the Millers have sold their house to the Smiths. Yeah. And so now the Smiths are like, oh, great. We've already turned in our 30-day notice at our apartment. So,
oh, my gosh.
So luckily,
thinking,
no, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
I was just thinking how you broke the news to
the Joneses.
And now you go back and
it was tearful. It was tearful. Honestly, I mean, I listened to the agent on our team who was handling the transaction, and they were in tears, and he was in tears. It was very tearful. I mean, it's very sad.
This is the first time in 21 years this situation.
I mean, I've had deals fall apart, like somebody lost a job, or, finances changed, they didn't qualify. But never, ever, ever in 21 years has someone just changed their mind and decided not to sell. Because even if it were really about them not being satisfied, and I should give them the benefit of the doubt, maybe it is. Maybe they really are not satisfied with that house. I mean, the house looks beautiful to me, but maybe they weren't satisfied. So if that's the case, then you find a place to live temporarily and you go through with the contract that you have to sell your house, because it said if you found a place, if you entered into a purchase agreement, then you're going to sell. They did enter into a purchase agreement. Now they have to sell, right? Okay. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer.
Okay, but I'm gonna pretend to be one for a second.
Okay.
I'm not. I'm actually going to pretend to be the Joneses. The first thing in my mind is I'm going to go talk to a lawyer.
Right. Oh, yeah, they are. They definitely have. Yeah, they have.
And if I'm the builder of the house that's sitting there without a buyer now, I'm also talking to a lawyer.
Well, and the builder of the house, I'm sure he's frustrated, but he'll probably sell the house for more money than he sold it to them.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I hope so. I hope so for his case. But so let me tell you, the Joneses decided we're not going to be those people. We will be the ones that will find temporary housing, and we will go ahead and honor our contract and sell our house to the next people so that they can sell their house to the next people. So thank goodness that there are good people out there, okay?
Oh, my goodness. So this is me saying this, not you.
Yeah.
But if you're the person who has the Joneses making an offer on your home when they finally find the next one that they really like,
please follow through with it and sell them your house.
Treat them well.
Yeah, right?
They deserve some consideration.
Oh, my gosh. Well, we are actually taking very good care of them because we have people on the team who own Airbnbs, and we are, putting them up until they have a place to go. And, I mean, we're going to take care of them because it's not their fault this horrible thing happened.
Gosh. Oh, and I thought I had a long week. Okay.
Yeah, so that was only the first one.
Okay.
So double.
We'll have to continue with the other story, okay?
Okay.
We have
take
to take
a break.
This is called a tease, Robin.
All right.
Keeping them here through the break.
Gotcha.
And we'll be back in a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
You may have heard the saying,
Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340 KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Welcome back. Andy Brownell and Robin Gwaltney with Gwaltney Group RE Results. Okay, we're ready.
Yeah, so as if that wasn't bad enough, okay? So that was supposed to close yesterday, Friday morning at 8 o'clock. Did not happen. So then I had a listing that was supposed to close at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And the walkthrough was supposed to be at 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And very good agent from another company working the other side of the deal. He's got the buyers. He called me up a couple of days ago and he's like, okay, I don't know what to think, but I just got a call from my buyer. And my buyer is extremely frustrated with their lender. And the lender keeps saying, now I need your last pay stub. Now I need proof that you're still employed. And sometimes that just happens. You know, the underwriters are being really, really cautious and careful and making sure that they're giving out good loans. And yes, it can be a little bit annoying, but you just do it, right?
It happened to me on my first mortgage.
Yeah. And I mean, sometimes people are like, my goodness, how much more are they going to need from me? Well, okay, you get a little frustrated, but this guy got so frustrated that he told his agent, I'm done. And his agent said, excuse me? He said, I'm done. I've had it. I'm not closing. This lender has made me so mad. I'm done. And he's like, what do we do? And I said, okay, he's obviously angry and he'll calm down. And so later that day, the wife called and she was quite upset and she apologized to the agent and said, I'm so sorry. My husband's just so mad and I'm going to try to calm him down and try to make everything better. So I got the phone call with that. So I'm like, okay, I'm not even going to tell the sellers at this point because it's all going to be fine. You know, I don't want to get them all worked up.
Yeah.
And so the next day their moving truck is coming. And so I call the agent back and I say, so is everything smoothed over? And he goes, you know what? They're not taking my calls at all. I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, I guess I have to call the seller. So I called the seller and boy, I am so lucky to have such amazing clients because my seller, so keep in mind, neither one of these people that have backed out were my clients, okay? They were the other agent's clients. And my sellers are like, what? And I said, I know. And it doesn't sound like they're coming. It doesn't sound like they're going to come to town to do the final walkthrough or to the closing. I mean, it really sounds like they are done. And they're like, Robin, what do we do?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys. They said, when the movers come, do we just cancel? And I said, well, let's talk about this. You're moving to the Twin Cities because of a job. The job is still there. You still need to be in the Twin Cities. We have a nice, large earnest money, which is going to be refunded to you because they just changed their mind for no good reason. So that's definitely your earnest money.
That's good,
right?
To hear.
Yes. So you will have to find some. Oh, so this is, of course, they're supposed to be buying a house. They were supposed to be closing at 4:00 on a house in the cities. So I had to call that agent to say, hey, sorry, but these buyers are no longer going to be able to buy because they would qualify for 2 loans, but this is the deal. They're a VA buyer,
right.
And so they can only have benefits. I mean, here you go. You fight for the country, and now you're suffering. It just drives me crazy. But anyway, so they can only have their VA benefits on one property at a time. So this one they have to have proof that this one is closed, and before they can purchase the other one. So, yeah.
I'm getting really upset now.
Isn't it crazy? So you asked me what kind of week I had. It was a tough week. So everybody out there that thinks, oh, those realtors, they have such a great, easy life. They just drive around in fancy cars, show a house or two, and collect a big fat check. It doesn't really go like that. I mean, there is a lot of work to real estate and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And even the deals that go really well, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that isn't always evident, to the onlookers.
Oh, my goodness. So I imagine, knowing the way the market is, the ray of hope, or whatever you want to call it, is the folks will probably sell this house fairly quickly.
I believe so. So let me tell you, when they did sell it, now I'm going to tell you my theory on what's really happening.
Okay.
In both cases, okay? So in both cases, I'm thinking the guy that sold his house to them 5 months ago when he entered into the new construction contract, I'm thinking he has seen the other houses on his street or other houses like his sell for more money than what he sold. So I'm thinking, and maybe I'm being a little bit facetious, but I'm thinking he's thinking, I'm going to cancel this deal and I'll sell it when I find the house I want and I'll get more money.
Yeah, and this is where the legal system has to step in, because
yes,
a contract is a contract.
Yes, and just like I said, the builder isn't really going to be as devastated because he'll probably sell the house for more money. Now, my sellers, I don't necessarily know that they're going to sell the house for more money, because when we sold it, we had several offers. It was a multiple offer situation. Right. And these people who got it paid a hefty amount above. It's not legal for me to say how much until after it closes. And hey, we know that didn't happen. So anyway, they paid a hefty amount above to win in a multiple offer situation. So it brings my mind to, are both of these situations of buyer's remorse? Well, seller's remorse and buyer's remorse. Is this a byproduct of this crazy hot market that we've been in? You know, we all know that when things happen, it's a ripple effect. Something else happens, right? So I guess both of them had some similar things in common. And the number one is that it's a pushed out close date, right? Because one had to wait for a new construction to be built, and the other one was just timing, because that's when it worked for everybody's move.
So a lot of things changed between then and now.
Correct. And then as they watch the news and they hear, oh, are things calming down, or have prices continue to go up, or whatever they're hearing plays into their head. And it all circles back to, when you've entered into a legal binding contract, you have entered into a legal binding contract. And this is not fun to mess with people's lives. It's not nice to mess with people's lives. It's not nice. It is not nice.
And I hope that our justice system is able to come up with some way of, they can't remedy it, they can't fix what's already been broken, but at least they can have some sort of compensation for the people who have been harmed.
And, you know, I think that is probably what the listeners are thinking right now is, you know, can these people in the first case, can the buyer sue the seller? In the second case, can the seller sue the buyer? And yes, there is an opportunity to sue someone to perform on the contract.
But it can take years.
I can tell you that the seller is not going to do that, because my seller will just put their house back on the market, sell it, find something else to buy, because unfortunately the house they were going to buy, those people are not interested in waiting for them to put their house back on the market and sell again. So they are going to have to start over from square one.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so frustrating.
And I hope this isn't a sign of things to come, that more chaos and anarchy occurs because of what you just described as buyer and seller remorse.
I hope not either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, crazy.
We have to take another break already. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX results with us. We'll return in just a moment on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
We'll be right back with Robin Gwaltney and Andy Brownell on Rochester Real Estate. This is News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
Are you paying too much for term life?
Rochester Real Estate with Robin Gwaltney from Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Results and Andy Brownell on Rochester's News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.
All right, Robin, now that I'm digesting what happened to you on Friday and all of your wonderful clients, the situations they're now dealing with.
And they're all handling it beautifully. And you know what not to go back to Mayo Clinic, but because I always make so many medical references in this community, I said to the family that the buyers decided not to show up, I said, I'm just so grateful that I'm just calling you to tell you that your house isn't going to sell today, instead of saying your child has cancer.
Oh my God.
So keep it in perspective, right? It's the bottom line is it's going to be okay.
Yep.
And they had a great attitude about it.
Well, when you put things in perspective, that helps a great deal. That's for sure. All this being said, is it still a good time to buy? Is it a good time to be in the market?
It honestly is. And I will tell you, I'm going to be really, because again, 21 years in this business, I've never seen one person just change their mind and decide to cancel a purchase agreement, and to have two happen in one day, two closings that did not happen. It's like, okay, this is a wake-up call. We need to be really in tune to how much earnest money are we collecting? Are we making earnest money non-refundable? How can we protect our buyers from the seller doing something? We have things we have to think about contractually, and we'll be on the ball looking out for our customers, and even these pushed out close dates. And which banks are we working with? How many times have you heard me say that? Which banks are we working with, and who's the agent on the other end? These are all factors that play into a successful deal, a successful transaction.
You're keeping notes.
Yes, absolutely. Live and learn, right? But yes, so to get to your question, it's still a fantastic time to buy a house. I want to share something. Let's say you're buying a $250,000 house right now and you lock in at 2.8% interest, okay? Your monthly mortgage payment is going to be like $1,027, all right?
Yes.
Now, if you wait until next year at this time, and let's just project that the rates have gone up to 3.4%. Your home loan, thus the very same house, because of the home appreciation, the very same house is probably going to have gone up to like $280 instead of $250, and now the mortgage interest rate is going to go up to 3.4 instead of 2.8. So now you're paying $1,243 for the same house. Okay, same house. So now your payment has just gone up by $220. Yeah. All right.
Almost.
Now, so then between 22 and 23, the projection is that the values will still be increasing, but not by these crazy, 12% amounts, but like by 5.3%. So now that same house is going to be $295. The one you could buy today for $250, or next year at this time for $280. If you wait that following year, it's going to be $295, and doggone it, now those interest rates are going to be up around 3.8 maybe. At 3.8, that same house, the monthly mortgage payment is going to be $1,375. So if you're going to wait for things to get better, if you're waiting for prices to go down, that's not happening. If you're waiting for the interest rates to go down, and I'm not talking about here in the next 30 days, I'm talking about, a year from now, right? That's not going to happen. So yes, absolutely still a fantastic time. And most of the sellers and buyers that you see out there are all really good people and, take their contracts seriously. So, I can complain that I had that one tough week, but I still love my job. I still love the people I'm serving. And thank goodness that happens once in 21 years.
A blue moon.
Yeah, once in a blue moon.
That smoke from Canada brought in some
I think
vibes.
so. I think so.
But go ahead.
I do have a couple of new listings I'd like to quick get in if I have time.
Yes, you do. That'd be great.
Okay. I've got one over in Kellogg that's really nice. It's at 100 East Green Avenue, and it's a great house. 3 beds, 3 baths. It's got a 2-car attached garage, and then it's got an additional outbuilding that's 30 by 56. It sits on almost an acre and a half, and it goes right up to the Zumbro River, actually with riprap, but it goes right down to the Zumbro River. And that one is listed, just came on the market, I think Thursday, listed at $329.9. I think so far we have like a dozen appointments to show it. So hopefully it's still available through the end of the day. But yeah, call me because I'd love to sell it to you. And then we've got one at 615 3rd Street Southwest in Rochester, and this one is $474.9. It's a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage, older house. You can probably tell that from the address.
The address, yeah.
Yeah, it's 1927, but also a beautiful house. So 2 new listings. It's not 6, but it's 2.
It's 2.
Yeah.
And
and I'm working on some more. So next week we'll have some more.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And then next week everything is going to be copacetic.
Yes, when you ask me what kind of week I had, I'm going to go back to my usual mundane answer of excellent. I had an excellent week. I really, really wish I could have said that today, but I would have been lying, and I don't lie.
Well, it's good to talk about these things because now people are aware these things hopefully don't happen once or more than once in a blue moon, but maybe talk to the person you're working with to, hey, what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen?
And you know what else? This is just one of those things that if you are trying to do a for sale by owner, just know that it's not always cut and dried and easy peasy, okay? So, I mean, we're here to help you. We're here to give you some professional guidance and would love to do that.
Okay, so if you want to speak with Robin, you want to go down to Kellogg and see the house right by the Zumbro there, or the one near downtown, how do they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Call me on my cell phone. I will take your call and love to help you. My cell phone number is 507-259-4926.
All right, Robin. We will chat with you next Saturday.
Sounds great.
Thanks very much. Robin Gwaltney, Gwaltney Group RE/MAX Result, right here on News Talk 1340, KROC AM and 96.9 FM.